Been here before. Yes, it is Groundhog Day. And we welcome... Now here we are, Greg, in the second half of the season. What do you think playoff-bound teams are focusing on right now?
I would say just making sure they keep the momentum heading into the postseason, as well as do everything possible to try to stay healthy.
And talk about competitive spirit. MP has come out and, in essence, dedicated this season to winning his own matchups.
And so far, so good, right? I know it's early in the process, but MP has taken his own words to heart. He's beating his man at both ends, which gives their team an advantage. So if the rest of his teammates can just hold their own, they're going to win a lot more games.
So let's take a look at the Boston Celtics starting lineup. They've got MP, and it's Pritchard in at the point guard position. Here's Wallace. Back to Adebayo. The 11-footer. Clowney pulls it in. And here we go. Fast break. MP's got it. Quick shot there, and it's off target. Here's Johnson. And Boston with the rebound. MP right side. The shot's good. Brown making the play.
Now the defense was just all over him, but MP just too strong down there.
Here's Wallace. Good for the basket. Starting off 1-for-1 with that shot.
And hitting the mid-range jumper here early gives the defense just another thing to think about.
Yeah, he's got to be a little bit more on their radar after knocking down something like that.
Uncovered at the rim, finding cracks in the defense here early on.
Just really smart basketball and exploiting whatever holes that he's seeing right now in the defensive squad.
Now here's Johnson. Last game we saw him score 32. To the paint, here's Buckner. Banked in off the glass.
Bam averaged 5 assists per game during that breakout campaign in 2020, and he's at it again.
And Brent, if the super team era is indeed coming to a close, the Miami Heat are one of the most successful examples.
Yeah, Kevin, you're obviously referring to the Heatles with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. I think there are some fans out there that go back to when it was that they had that press conference and were throwing up 6, 7, 8. And so 2 titles, yes, of course, amazing. Chances to win championships, amazing. Could there have been more? Possibly.
Now, here's MP, and he comes up with the deuce.
I think MP saw that little gap there and then was really clever to exploit it with an on-target pass.
Now, here's Adebayo. Tight defense on him. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. You know, Brent, when you wonder why GMs take a risk on project big men, Bam Adebayo is an example of why they do just that.
Yeah, Kevin, it's not always about the project working out. It's about teams that have a plan for the project, and certainly Miami was able to do that. And you have to credit Bam. He put the work in. The guy has been solid. He's an all-star. He's continuing to improve, and he gives you everything on both ends of the floor every night.
And now we've got some time to check in from the sidelines. You got for us, DA?
Thanks very much. MP in the last game against the Warriors was a man on a mission. He came away with 41 points, and so much of that damage he does is from long range. Totals like that put him in rarefied company. A game for the ages. Back to you, Kevin.
Excellent, David. Thank you. Greg, how impressive was it watching him completely take over?
Unstoppable. They won that game because of his effort and just his overall relentlessness.
They're going up against a team that had no answer for him. We'll see if it plays out the exact same way here tonight.
Peyton Watson, he's checked in for the Heat. And the basket by MP.
Sweet to be a difference maker in the game, and he's been a great option for them on these possessions.
Wallace against MP. Good defense by MP. Celtics leading by 3. Misses the layup.
Yeah, better than giving up the layup. You want to go in there and use the hard foul. They did it there. That's aggressive attitude defensively.
Now, here's Watson. Looking at his numbers, he averages a bit over 9 points a game. The 3 from Johnson. It's hauled in by Brown. For Boston, they've gone 5 of 8 from the field, shooting over 62%. Nunez, and stolen by Watson. And now, in transition is Wallace. Here we go. Gets himself open and drills it. Wallace has got his second basket of the night.
Great execution. Could not have asked for a better shot.
Here's Brown. Buckner grabs the board.
Oh, that mid-range, Jay, usually pretty much on the money. Maybe the timing just a little bit off on that one.
And here's Brown. He'll bring it up for the Boston Celtics. Pass to Pritchard. Nice ball movement by Boston. 4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. They get it back. Kicks it out to Johnson. Wallace with a screen for Johnson. And trying for the go-ahead basket. It doesn't go in. Here's MP. Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points. So 1 free throw coming up.
When the player gets a feel for that floater, it can really make things tough on defenders. You're just not sure how to guard them and where your point of commitment is.
Eight seconds left to play in the first. Milton looking around, and that one released in time, but no good. MP has been leading the charge for Boston. That quarter had to take a lot of... Check in for Miami. Jaime Jaquez comes in for Bam Adebayo. The Celtics making a switch here. MP outside. Inside. Nunez gets the bucket. Nunez has got his first bucket of the night.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash-mouth, physical basketball, guys.
Kyle Kuzma is out there with Buckner. Then there's Jaime Jaquez. Then there's Peyton Watson. And it's Lowry in at the point. That's the group on the floor for Miami. Here's Lowry. Following the basket by MP. Pass to Jaquez. Takes it from 10. Now in the scoring column with that bucket. 1 for 2 this game.
Getting it done in the in-between area. Jaquez Jr. just taking what he sees.
It's time now to hear from our Hall of Fame reporter, David Aldridge. What's the latest, David?
Kevin, when you look at the draft, it seems talent evaluators have a type. LeBron James says our league is always hungry for potential. That's the whole focus of the lottery. It makes sense that those guys who are taken 16 through 30 are on real contending teams and making impacts. Of course, Kevin, everybody wants to draft the next LeBron. Good luck with that.
Or work with the next David Aldridge, a Hall of Famer. David, thank you. Austin with the ball. The Heat knocking down the tray.
That's a tough rebound if you don't have the length that he does, so the size paying off.
Watson for 3. Rebound Boston. They've held a 12-point lead early. They host the Kings after this game. That'll be the first of 2 straight at home. And here's MP for 3. MP drills the 3.
Not just the accuracy in the quarter, it's his movement and the energy that's getting him on this nice roll.
Bounce pass from Lowry. Buckner the pass to Kuzma. Out to the right wing. Watson surveying the D. MP grabs the miss.
His touches left him in this quarter. Nowhere close to the kind of output they need from him.
And it's Exum in the corner. Brown outside. MP strong inside.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Kuzma with it. 7 points in the game. Shot clock at 6. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. It's going to be on MP. Hasn't shot the ball well at the stripe, going 0 for 3 so far. He doesn't get the second one. The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. It's the Celtics. They lead by 13. Live from Miami, you're watching 2K Sports.
You know, on the boards, they've been ferocious. They've been intimidating. Reminds me of watching Big Fella out there.
You know they're going to.
And how about we move it on? And that's all for us. Now
well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. You look at MP in this one, he's been everywhere.
Well, we'll find out if they were able to find an answer for him over the break. He was scoring with ease in that first half.
Yeah, just way too easy out there, and I'm sure Coach is going to make that a priority at halftime.
On the court for the Celtics, they've got Jaylen Brown, and it's Nunez in at the center. Brent, would you say the point guard is considered the toughest position to play in basketball?
You know, Kevin, I think there's been a massive shift in what the point guard represents in the NBA game. I mean, how many teams over the past couple of years that have won championships have played with a traditional setup guard? What we're looking at is duos that can dribble, pass, and shoot and devastate defenses.
Jaquez the pass to Adebayo. And for those of you turning in, we're about a minute into the second half. Got him with the pump fake, but couldn't finish.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
The Heat trail by 12. Jaquez with the ball. Now defended by MP. Launches a three. Clowney pulls it in.
Yeah, they're going to try to search out for somebody that's got a hot hand right now. 1 of 4 to start the half.
And the foul called on MP. That's his 3rd foul of the game. And we'll have a timeout called by Eric Spoelstra. Looking for a breather and maybe just 1 or 2 things to talk about. And midway through the season now, the power rankings starting to show a more complete picture. As you look at Memphis, they're gaining on some of the teams above them, trying hard to crack into that top 5.
Checking out Boston.
They know who they are. They know where they want to be. They just have to maintain this level of play and maybe even take it up a notch.
There's the 3. Miami no good on that time either.
Well, his poor shooting is a big reason that they're staring at this deficit right now. He needs to get on track if they're going to find a way to win.
And obviously his momentum from the last game has carried over here tonight.
Yeah, the coach pretty smart for zoning in on him and giving him opportunities to stay with that confident play.
They've worked hard to get this lead. Can't start giving up easy slams all of a sudden.
Yeah, GA, that's right. And that was easy. Gift wrap for him.
Yeah, we see this all too often. The team gets a huge lead, and then their guard gets let down.
And so it's Johnson who brings the ball up for the Heat. It's a 13-point game. So it's off to Brooklyn after this game as they have the Nets to look forward to. That'll be just 1 game played away from home for them. Clowney, good.
And this is why coaches talk about playing with pace. The scoreboard tells it all.
Kind of get a team defensively on their heels, and if you can keep pushing and keep attacking, they'd never find some kind of defensive balance to help slow you down.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive. Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Buckner. Nunez with the rebound. Nunez has got 6 rebounds here tonight. And here's MP for 3. And it's Miami with the rebound. Wallace outside. Pass to Johnson. Down low. And Adebayo throws it down.
And you try your best defensively to push Bam away from the rim. That's easier said than done.
And now let's check in on the two goals from around the league and see which one. Checked in for Payson Wallace. And a change for the Celtics. MP's checked in. Time now to turn to our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David.
Well, guys, during the last break, I listened to Eric Spoelstra address the team. And I asked for one thing, intensity. He said, I need you to crank it up to 11 out there. That's how we turn it around. Back to you guys.
Okay, David, much appreciated. Here's Exum. Here he goes. And it's in. Basket number 6 for him thus far. He has only missed 2 shots from the floor.
Big miscommunication on defense. He recognizes it and quickly takes advantage.
Well, I know they don't have mobile devices out there for texting, so they might as well talk to one another.
Alexander is out there with Kyle Kuzma. Then there's Peyton Watson. And it's Vukcevic in at the 5 down low. That's the group on the 4 for Miami. Right the pass to Landale. And here's MP for 3. And Vukcevic pulls it down. The Heat trail by 16. Watson kicks to Lowry. Floats one up. Rebound Boston. Landale's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. 3-pointer on the way. Knocks down the 3 ball. And the Celtics lead by 19.
Solid movement of the ball. MP making a great decision.
He'd have gotten off to a rough start in the 4th quarter, going 0 for 4 so far. There's the pick. Here's Kuzma. It falls for his 5th field goal of the night. Now shooting 5 for 8.
Yeah, and Kuzma's going to get thirsty now the way he's going.
And we've got a timeout from Joe Mazzulla. He knows every possession is critical now. And Miami going with a whole new group out there. The 3 from MP. Gets the 3-pointer to fall. MP's got 31 points.
And with that 3, his 2nd of the half, he's equaled his total from before the break.
Back to Wallace. And stolen by MP. Here's Pritchard. The shot's good. Brown making the play. Brown's got 5 assists tonight. And a moment here to take a look at some of the hustle stats for the Celtics.
I like their defense tonight, and we don't talk about that side of the ball enough. You can really change a game when you get a bunch of steals and get out in transition.
And I feel like another part of tonight's game has been the hustle points, getting up and down, getting second chances, getting transition opportunities. They've been fantastic in that area.
Really well done there. Just confident and composed, never in a hurry.
Pass to Pritchard. And here's MP for 3. And the Celtics another 3.
Well, you love the competitive fire from MP, answering right back with a 3 of his own.
Wallace kicks to Adebayo. Back to Wallace. 1:41 left in the game. They get the rebound. Buckner, and he goes in for the dunk.
That is a product of pure effort, guys.
I agree, and that's nothing new coming from him, GA. He loves going to work on the rebounding, going to work on the board.
Stick with fundamentals there. Shot goes up, box out, or he'll destroy you.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Celtics.
They never settled for mediocre shots.
And Kevin, they had great penetration this time out.
And so checking out the record for these guys tonight will mark win number 37 for them on the year.
And they're able to even the score of this series at a game apiece. Still 2 more to go in the season series.
And what a tremendous standout performance it was for MP.
Just knows how to fill it up, and that's exactly what he did tonight. Nobody that they assigned to him could really get a handle on him.
Here's Wallace. The 3-pointer off the mark. Smart, accurate passes, Greg, are really paying off for them at the moment.
And also good off-ball movement. Everyone is paying attention and looking to create the best shot for the team.
So it's both teams making substitutions here. 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Pass to Vukcevic. Good ball movement here by Miami. The shot by Lowry, no good. MP inside. Watson's there. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
A quiet but confident player. MP is one of those guys that lets his play do the talking most of the time.
And both free throws good for MP. And here are the Heat. Pass to Vukcevic. Here's Kuzma. Wong with the rebound. Now MP. From downtown, drills the three-pointer.
Well, him dominating the offensive end is what accounts for this lead. Just a very difficult guy to stop once he gets